Stories. Stories to shock you. Ghostly tales of suspense and terror. The Monster of Dread End. Long empty of human life, the dark, decaying tenements of Dread End stare silently across at each other, as though still frozen in horror at the memory of the frightful scenes they alone had once been witness to. Time was when Dread End, then known as Hawthorne Place, was a busy, noisy, happy street that echoed to the sound of children's laughter. Then, early one morning, the first one was found. What's that? It was a balled-up thing, like an empty wrapper thrown carelessly aside, but somehow still recognizable as having once been human. How do you write this one up, my lad? All right, back everybody, back.
Hey, my kid sister is missing. Her bed is empty.
For days, the police asked questions, but no one had seen or heard anything. A few weeks passed. Then, early one morning, "Get up, Sonny. You'll be late for school." Oh! Outside on the street, another balled-up thing was found. Police! Inch by inch, the best brains of the best police department in the world combed the area. Nothing, Chief. Absolutely nothing. What now, Chief? I don't know. If this were only the work of an ordinary run-of-the-mill maniac. When, a week later, it happened again, the panic-stricken inhabitants of Hawthorne Place began to flee, some even leaving their furniture behind. I don't care if we have nowhere to go, as long as we get away from here. Hurry! The few who remained boarded up their windows and double-locked their doors. That ought to do it. But again, the terror struck. The twins are gone! Completely baffled, the authorities could only evacuate the remaining tenants and declare the street out of bounds to all. As the years went by, fearful residents of neighboring blocks gradually moved away until finally, Dread End was surrounded on all sides by other silent, empty blocks. After dark, no one ever dared venture into even the outer fringes of this no man's land, let alone the very center of it. Until tonight. Though only 7, when his little sister became the first victim of the Dread End monster, Jimmy White resolved that if the police didn't find her killer, someday he would. As Jimmy grew older, he became more and more obsessed with the idea that the killer still lurked somewhere on that sinister block. Now, at the age of 15, Jimmy feels he is old enough to ferret the monster out. Crouched in the shadows of an alley next to the house he had once lived in, Jimmy begins his lonely and fearful vigil. I wish I could be sure somebody will hear this police whistle. The hours drag by, but no sound disturbs the unearthly quiet of the dead, deserted street. When a faraway church bell tolls the hour of 5, Jimmy stands up to stretch. Dawn in a little while. I'd better be going. Maybe next time. Jimmy stops in mid-stretch, then quickly crouches back into the shadows. His whistle forgotten, Jimmy stares, unable to believe his eyes. Slowly, a giant claw-like hand, followed by a thick, sinuous, lizard-like arm, slithers out of the manhole. Slowly, like a blind boa constrictor searching for something, the hand gropes its way across the street and up the side of a wall, groping, searching. Suddenly, the boy's whistle slips from his trembling fingers and strikes the ground. Quick as a wink, the snake-like arm snaps back into the manhole. It's gone. Now's my chance to run. But it moves so fast. It could shoot out and grab me before I could... Too late. It's coming out again. This time toward me. Slowly, the hand gropes toward the petrified boy. It stops to explore a garbage can. Finding nothing, it crushes the can as though it were tissue. Then, to Jimmy's relief, it turns and gropes its way out of sight. Jimmy watches the repulsive arm continue to flow out of the manhole. It seems endless, but the more that comes out, the farther away the hand is getting. Then a sixth sense warns Jimmy, but too late. The monster has found him. Like a rattler, the claw strikes and closes on thin air. For a while, Jimmy somehow manages to duck and dodge the lightning-like thrusts of the terrible claw, but the end is inevitable. Certain of its prey, the claw hovers. Suddenly, a shattering series of explosions tear the night apart. Then, silence again. Jimmy opens his eyes and stares down at the great limp claw. Are you all right, boy? Sorry, we had to let it go so far, but we wanted as much of it out in the open as possible to make sure. You were here all the time? We've been here for years, son. And it might have been years longer if you hadn't shown up. Hey, look. Those large pore-like openings in the palm. It's fed by absorption after crushing its victim. Did you know it was there too? Yes. We'd seen it a few times, but it never came out far enough. Its sense of danger was so acute and its speed so lightning-like, we didn't want to risk only wounding it, and letting it get away.